Am I sharing?
We're sharing. Coming along great.
So you can see my screen?
I see it. I see your screen. You see it. You see it. Yep, you're perfect.
All right. Well, very cool. Well, hey, thanks for, I know this is short notice, and thanks everybody for getting on the webinar. I'm really going to go into some detail today about the surge compensation system, because I believe that it's very powerful, but it's also something that once you understand it, then it really is something that I think a lot of times when people hear us talk about compensation, they hear more in our voice how we feel about it than they see in the PowerPoints and the presentations. And so I'm just gonna run through this. Let's see here. Let me make sure. Okay. It starts with your fast start team. And basically, that's where we're going to train people. We're going to train them exactly how to win in Surge 365. In there, a new person is going to introduce their warm market to what we call the team builder. That's really the foundation of our compensation system is the team builder. It's where we pay the $1,000 bonuses, the $10,000 bonuses, what the generations are based upon. You're going to hear more about that in just a couple minutes. And what your team builder is going to do is going to help you make 3 Vortex Platinum sales. All right, now that's our premier product that is normally $399, $59.95 a month. Okay, and Dwayne, I know that we got a special going. I don't know if you want me to talk about that, in this particular presentation or not. But there's a 60-day special that's going on for this team to be able to transition people into Surge. Okay, and what that's going to be is the price is going to be $199 instead of $399. The monthly will still be the $59.95, and it's still going to pay the bonuses exactly like I'm going to explain them. Okay, so once those 3 sales have been made, if you do it in the first 60 days, then here's what's going to happen. The person's going to become 3 and free. So let's just say, Dwayne, you're training me, and we go out there and I introduce you to my warm market. We make 3 sales, okay? Then I'm 3 and free. What that means is I no longer pay the monthly fee. So the goal for every person should be in their first 30 days, not 60, to get 3 and free, which means they're not going to pay that monthly subscription fee of $59.95. And think about that for just a second. That's the highest form of residual that we pay. That's basically 3 people is worth $60 a month. All right. The other thing that happens is you're qualified to override the sales made by your team. So in this case, Dwayne, as I build a team, I want to be qualified to override the sales, because all you have to be qualified to override is have 3 active, what we call subscribers or members. And the other thing that's going to happen by doing this in 60 days is I'm going to be promoted to team builder. So I'm going to earn my promotion to team builder. And this is where I begin earning those $1,000 bonuses. And I'm going to earn those bonuses doing the same thing Dwayne just did with me, which is helping my people qualify for 3 and free, qualify to override, and qualify for their promotion to team builder. That's what we call the fast start team. And it really is where the experienced person goes alongside the inexperienced person and helps them in their warm market understand how to sell, how to close, and how the comp plan works. Because we all also know that the best way to understand the comp plan is go do something that you get paid on. Okay. Now, once this fast start team is completed, then you begin your team builder group by sponsoring a new person. That new person and everyone they sponsor and everyone else that you sponsor is in your team builder group, and they're going to remain in your team builder group, and all those people will stay there until they qualify and finish and complete their fast start team. And then they will be promoted to team builder themselves. Then they would start their own group, just like we're explaining here. Okay, so let me just kind of run through this. All right, this means that every time and I'm looking now at just Vortex Platinum sales. Okay, now again, during this special promotion, understand it's half the initial fee, the same monthly fee, but the same 7 sales pay $1,000 bonus. So you can see in here that these V's, that's kind of the logo for the Vortex. You can see that it doesn't matter who makes the sales. It doesn't, like the person at the top left-hand corner made 3. The top right-hand corner made 2. There's a sale, another sale being made. It doesn't matter where the sales are made, but when a total of 7 sales are made, total in your group, there's a $1,000 bonus. You can go on and earn additional $1,000 bonus. You see that we're recruiting some more people. Additional sales are being made. Now you'll see that nobody's making 4 sales here. The reason they're not making 4 is because when they made their 3, their 4th person started their own team builder group. And you can see that this just continues and goes through infinity. And I'm sure we're dealing with seasoned people here, and seasoned people are going to be watching this. Through infinity just means as long as people keep recruiting, this never ends. And it just continues. And you can see it. I've capped this out with about 5 levels of sponsorship, not because that's the cap, it's because that's the room I had on the page. Okay. And so just the concept here is you can have more than 2. You see that we have 2 legs in a team builder group. You could have 50 legs in a team builder group. We're just illustrating in this screen what would happen with 2 people that you personally recruited after you completed your Fast Start team. And what would happen is they recruited and you built through them in their Fast Start teams, which is your team builder group. Every 7 Vortex Platinum sales, $1,000 bonus. So let's just kind of recap this, okay? As I just said, there's $1,000 bonus for every Vortex Platinum sale. Every 7 of those, $1,000 bonus. They're unlimited. You can earn as many. I mean, you could earn, we've had people earn 4 and 5 in a week. There is no limit to the number you can earn, and there's no replacing fall off. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's say that you made 1 team builder group Vortex Platinum sale a month. Now, I'm not recommending you go that fast. I'm sorry, that's slow. Okay. If you made 1 per month for 6 months, you would have 6. You would need 1 more sale to trigger a $1,000 bonus. But let's say in the 7th month, before that 7th sale was made, maybe a couple of people had fallen off. Their credit card didn't go through. They lost their job. They got disillusioned. Whatever the case was, but 2 of the 6 were no longer active. You made your 7th sale. Guess what? We still pay the $1,000 bonus. See, it's your job to get them. It's our job to keep them. And we believe that our product and our systems are good enough that if we don't keep those people, we're still going to pay you your bonus. And as long as SBAs, now SBAs, that's what we call Surge Business Associates. Other companies call them IMRs, Independent Marketing Reps, representatives, salespeople, whatever. That's just our vernacular. SBA is Surge Business Associate. And as long as your SBAs keep recruiting, keep selling, these bonuses never end. Now, when you've earned a total of 5 $1,000 bonuses, you qualify to start what we call your regional team builder group. What does that mean? Okay. Well, you're going to recruit a new person, and you can see that's the new people, the kind of the green guys here. The grayed out guys on the left, those people, those guys and gals, they are still building. This team didn't end. That original team didn't quit. That's continuing to go. You just got a brand new team, and collectively, you're now using sales to qualify for the bonus. You can see in that bottom left-hand side that a sale could be made, and that counts as 1 of your 7. I'm going to focus on the regional team builder group. That's where we got it in the color, in the black and white, okay, or the black and red. And if you look at this, every 7 sales that are made, there's a $1,000 bonus that's paid. But it's more than a $1,000 bonus because there's also a $100 regional builder override. That means if you did this, okay, Dwayne, if you did this, you recruited a brand new person as a regional team builder, and through that person, you made 7 new sales through them and their team. And when you got paid the $1,000 bonus, you would also get paid a $100 override on your own bonus. Now, the sales that you make in your original team builder group, your regional builder is getting that $100 bonus. Now, all the sales, whether made in your original group or the team or the regional group, all those sales go together to count toward the $1,000 bonus. So you don't have to, if you make 5 on your original team builder group, 2 in your regional, that's still 7, triggers the $1,000 bonus. Here's how that extra money is paid out. There's a little less than $15 per sale on the Vortex Platinum allocated toward that $100 bonus. If you made 2 of the 7 sales in your regional team builder group, you'd get 30 of that 100, and your regional builder would get 70. If all of those came from your regional builder group, folks, that's where you'd make the entire 100. Okay. Now, I'm not expecting everyone to get this initially as you go through, but when you kind of watch this a couple times, and here's what I also know, the best way to understand how this comp works, become a regional team builder, okay? And then go out there, start your regional team builder group, and you absolutely will understand how this comp works. There's another feature of this, and this is what I want to explain. Let's say that this person, the first person that you recruited, Dwayne, again, let's just use you and I, you, regional team builder, recruited me. I went out there and I started building, okay? And I got my first 3 Vortex Platinum sales. I would qualify then to start my own team builder group. Let's just say in this deal that that says Jim, we'll just call me Jim right now, that now I start my team builder group by sponsoring a new person. And this original group, still there, everybody remains there. But look what happens here. This not only is my regional builder group, it's also a first generation. I'm going to cover that in a couple of minutes, and you'll see exactly what that means. But in here, Jim goes out because here's what I can promise you. In our compensation plan, nobody is working for your override. They're all chasing their own $1,000 bonus. So Jim's chasing his $1,000 bonus, and he goes out there, and in total makes 7 sales. Jim gets the $1,000 bonus. But guess what, Dwayne, since you sponsored Jim or Jim came from your regional team builder group, you get that $100 override. That's how that override works. Let's go on to the next bonus, $10,000 bonus. And folks, we're clicking these out 2 or 3 a month right now, all right? And Dwayne, I really believe in your organization that in the next 90 days that we could see a half a dozen to a dozen people earn this $10,000 bonus because it takes 100 total sales in your team builder group. Now, when you get promoted to regional along the way, all those sales, all of them count, okay? So everything counts. You got it. Now, these have to be active, okay? I want to make sure you understand this. These got to be active. They could be new sales. They could be old people that you sold last month, the month before, as long as they renew or as long as they are 3 and free, they count toward that 100. So let's say that on August 31st, you had 100 or more active in your team builder group. September 30th, you still had 100, okay? Now, it doesn't have to be the same 100. It can be, if 3 or 4 people fell off and you made 5 or 6 new sales, then you're still over 100. What happens then on October the 11th with your residual check, because that's when the monthly residual checks are paid, you would also be paid a $10,000 bonus. There's no time limit on this bonus. We've had people earn it as quick as 30 days. We've had other people that have taken more than a year. There's no clock. There's no time limit. If it takes 5 years to do it, when you earn it, you will be paid the $10,000 bonus. There's also no limit to the number that you can earn. We've had 2 people who've earned 2 of these $10,000 bonuses in Surge 365. So you can earn multiple of the $10,000 bonuses. Next thing I want to look at is generations. And this is what I believe makes our compensation plan very strong. Your team builder group, as we talked about in the beginning, is where everything is based. It's the foundation of our compensation plan. We're just going to illustrate this with one leg. And so this is one leg in your team builder group. Remember, you can have 2, 3, 10, 20, 50, 100. There is no limit to the number of legs you can have. And when this first person that is highlighted now in yellow qualifies to start their own team builder group, that becomes your first generation. Okay? I think that's pretty well understood. But what happens when this person, who's basically 2 more levels of sponsorship away from you, what happens when they qualify to start their own team builder group? Well, in many organizations, that would already be a 3rd level, a 3rd generation. But in Surge, that's still a 1st generation. How about the person down here that's 6 levels of sponsorship away? Folks, when they sponsor a new person, because understand, everything on those green individuals in this team builder group, all of them remain in your team builder group. What happens is when this person down at that 6th level, they sponsor a new person, that new person becomes your 1st generation. Now, you can see that these keep they keep recruiting, they keep building. This goes through infinity again. And here's a person in your 1st generation. They qualify by getting their 3. when they sponsor that new person to start their team builder group, that person starts your second generation. Same thing down here, second generation. Do you understand that if you were, let's say that you recruited and lined up 100 people, the ultimate taproot system, where you recruited one person who recruited the next person, who recruited the next person, who recruited the next person, and you did that through 100 levels of sponsorship. And that 100th person qualified to start their team builder group. Even though there are 100 levels of sponsorship from you, it would still be your first generation, folks. The same thing's true in that first generation. It would become your second generation. Look, this goes through 6 generations. Okay? It doesn't stop through infinity, every one of them, through 6 generations. I'm going to just tell you a quick story. This is a comp plan, because most of you know that we've been in business in travel. My father and I have been in business in travel for more than 16 years. And Chris Coakley joined us. He was with us in our previous company and joined us as a founder. And Chris is a very important part of Surge 365. But this compensation system has been a foundation that we have built upon. And we have a track record with this for a long time. Like I said, for more than 16 years. So when I had somebody in our past, they brought a builder, and that builder came in and basically, they said, look, I'm just here as a courtesy because I really don't know that your comp plan is as strong as ours, but my friend brought me in. And so I just asked a simple question. I said, look, how many people do you have in your organization? And he said, I've got, like 5,000. And I said, wow, you're no doubt you're a builder. Now, let me ask you a follow-up question. Of that 5,000 people, how many did you receive an override on last month? And he said, about a third of them. Okay. I said, so like 1,700? He said, yeah, around 1,700. The other question I asked was, is that typical of someone your size in the industry? Because folks, you gotta understand something. I don't have a lot of companies that I've been with. I've been with 2. I've been with the company that was A.L. Williams, and Dwayne, that's where you and I we were cousins, if you will, in that organization under Bob Safford. We started a travel company in 2001, and Surge is the next generation of that travel company. That's my experience. So I don't have a lot of, I've not been involved in binaries and matrix and unilevels and those kinds of things. So I asked the gentleman, I said, is that typical of someone your size industry? He said, yeah, somewhere between, maybe a third and a half of the people is what you'll override, because you either got a runaway leg or you got out of your overrides or there was generation creep. And so I said, well, let's just look and see how your friend with our company did. I pulled up his back office, and at the time had about 5,100 people, so about 100 people more. Okay. Went to the compensation to see how many of those 5,100 he got paid on. 5,000. I want you to hear that. At an organization of 5,100, his residual was paid on over 5,000. It's kind of unheard of in the industry. That's how the generations work. Okay. And generations pay on initial sales. They pay residual on the Vortex Platinum through the team builder group, and all 6 generations is $2 a month. But that's not the total of the compensation. Okay. Because what also happens, and I'll get to the additional part of the residual, we've got something called 50K in 100 days. And if you will do a 100 team builder sales, that's you and your entire team builder group. Remember, these aren't personal sales. It's when you start your team builder group and it's their first 3 sales, and then their first 3 sales, the first 3 sales. Look, geometric math doesn't work. It doesn't go from 3 to 9 to 27 to 81. But you can kind of take that and you can control, when you're the builder, you can make sure that people are getting their 3. And then you're just going to that next 3. And then those next 3. Well, folks, when you do that, we've got something that total compensation, if they're all Vortex Platinums, okay, and there was full compensation, would be the total compensation of $51,000. Now, because we are not in this initial 60-day phase, and Dwayne, I just got to tell you, you were relentless in making sure that you got every advantage that you could get for your people, for your organization to have massive results up front. You said, Scott, well, look, we need to have, 3 get you free. We need to have 7 get you 1,000. We need to have 100 get you 10,000 and do it in 100 days and get 50,000. But we also want to be able to have a special, because a lot of people have been involved with us. Some have been involved in travel, some even with the same product that you have. We need to have it where we can get them at least a deal. And I can't believe you negotiated like you did with us. But we looked at it and said, okay, here's what we can do. We can keep the bonuses intact, but what we're going to do is we're just not going to pay the overrides on those sales for this 60 days. After 60 days, it kicks in. Okay. Well, here's what I want to tell you. The overrides on those 100 sales is 20 apiece. So of the 51,000, that represents $2,000. I'm not saying 2,000 isn't significant, but it's only 2,000. 49,000 is what you would still earn. There's a $10,000 bonus. There are 14 $1,000 bonuses, and then we've got $5,000 per month paid as long as you maintain that 100 people, $5,000 for another $25,000 if you do a total of 100 sales in 100 days. And Dwayne, from what you've told me about the leaders on this call, this Zoom call, whatever we're doing right now, what you've told me is that all of them are not just capable, but all of them it's probable that they're going to do this. There's regional and national builder overrides. On new sales after the 60-day special, now team builders earn $20 per Vortex Platinum. Regional builders earn another 20. Okay? So that means if you were the regional builder and made the sale, you'd make 40. National builders earn another 10. So as a national builder, and that national builder happens after you've earned 15 bonuses. Typically by that time, you've made $25,000 to $30,000 in our business. Okay. On the monthly fees, on the platinums, there's an additional $2 to the regional builder. There's another $2 to the national builder. So as a national builder, there's a $6 override on platinums on a monthly basis. On the $1,000 and $10,000 bonuses, regional builder earns 100. We've covered that. Well, the national builder gets another 100 on that $1,000 bonus. On the $10,000 bonuses, regional builders earn a $2,000 override, and national builders earn another $2,000. So there's actually, when a $10,000 bonus is earned, there's actually $14,000 is paid out to the hierarchy. And then you look at the Surge 365 Director Program, which I'm going to cover now. I believe it's the finest executive benefits package that's out there in direct sales, because that's how we look at it. See, I don't like car programs, folks. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like them. I don't like them because they're too easy to qualify for and too hard to maintain. They make it so you can go out there and you can qualify by doing some production, and you go out there and you get the car, you get it in your name, you get it on your credit, you got it where you have to make the payment, and then something happens in a month and you don't hit the criteria, you don't hit the quota, and you don't get the money. Guess who's got to pay for that? You do. I do not like those car programs. As a matter of fact, I believe they're dishonest. I believe that they trap people with companies, because if you don't stay with the company or you don't hit the qualification, you got to come up with the money yourself. But we got a car program, a little bit different. As a marketing director in our program, and it takes 500 people, so it's not. I'm not saying it's. I'm not telling you this is simple to get to. I'm not telling you it's easy. But when you get there, here's what's going to happen. Now, here's the only criteria that you can't have more than 1/3 of those people come from a single leg. So that means it's a maximum of 167 people, subscribers, active people, can come from any one leg. Now you could have 10 legs of 50. I don't care how you get to 500, but when you've got 500 with no more than 167 per leg, you're going to qualify for a $2,000 monthly bonus. We're not guaranteeing that you earn $2,000. This is extra. Every month, 20th of the month, you get a check for $2,000. And we also let you go pick out, you want a Charger or you want a Challenger. You want the 2-door or the 4-door. When I say pick it out, I want you to understand what I'm talking about. You tell us which one you want. Now, I kind of kid about this. You can have any color you want as long as you like white. It's going to be a white Charger or a white Challenger. We're going to put the logo on the door. It's real classy looking. We got the racing stripe going down the hood, over the top, back on the deck in the trunk. We pay for the car. We ship the car to you. We insure the car. All you have to do is have a driver's license and put gas in it. That's it. Now, we can't help you with the driver's license, but we're going to send you $2,000 a month for gas. That's how our car program works, folks. This isn't a lease. It isn't a loan. It's an executive perk, which, think about this for a second. You got 500 people, $60 a month. You're bringing $30,000 a month minimum into the company. Why wouldn't a company give you an executive perk and give you a car? You know what companies do for executives? Don't they give them cars? Don't they give them? See, that's what we're doing. Now, you keep building. Regional director is next. Regional director is 2,000 subscribers. Again, no more than 1/3 or 667 can come from a leg. Your bonus doubles to 4,000. This one, you pick out your choice of a Mercedes CLA 45 AMG, Jaguar XF, or a BMW 428i. Your choice. Here's how this one works. We buy the car. Now, this one we lease to you. You're going to like the terms. There's no payment on your part. And after 2 years, we title the car to you. You say, well, Scott, why do you do it that way? A couple reasons. We'd like to know that you're driving our Mercedes CLA 45 AMG to a Surge 365 meeting for a couple years. Kind of just joking about that because I got a feeling when that's the car that we're providing for you, got a feeling you're going to be here anyway. But the biggest reason we do it is because at the end of 2 years when we title the car to you, that becomes taxable income. And folks, the taxable income is about half what it would be if we titled the car to you immediately. So basically you're driving it the whole time, but you're paying taxes on half the money. That car is yours. Now, if your Charger, your Challenger, you're going to go ahead and return that one to us. We're going to pick it up. We're going to bring it back in. We'll recycle it through the organization. But that's what regional directors get. National directors, that's 5,000 subscribers. No more than 1,667 from a leg. There's an $8,000 monthly bonus. Folks, I just got to tell you, I don't believe that we'll have anybody at the regional director level, which is what we just talked about a minute ago. I don't think we'll have a regional director making less. I don't see how they can make less than $250,000 a year. I think it's going to be between $250,000 and $500,000. I think national directors, based upon our experience, because we've had a director program for 13 years. It was 3 years into our former company before we came up with one, but that's what we do. And at the national director, I really believe total income between $500,000 and $1 million. Here's what we're going to do with that one. As Chris Coakley says, since you can't drive a car inside the restaurant, we're going to put something on your wrist that costs as much as a car, a Rolex Presidential. And Chris has the whole thing. He'll teach you how to wear it so everybody sees it. Okay, but that's what you get at national director. The next step is executive director. Executive director, 10,000 subscribers. You say, Scott, that's a lot of people. Yes, it is. A lot of people. But here's what you're going to find out. It's worth a lot. It's $12,000 a month. Again, based on our history. And now we don't have any regional, or we have no national, no executive, no presidential directors at this point. But we've had a director program, like I've told you, for 13 years. I don't see any way that an executive director is making less than $1 million a year. Now, $12,000 monthly bonus, and here's what you got. Your choice is the Continental, Bentley, or the Flying Spur. Your choice. It'll be white, and we're going to do the same thing. Now, you're going to keep your other car because we titled that to you. This car is a new car. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to lease it to you for 2 years, no payment. At the end of 2 years, we'll title it to you. Again, instead of paying taxes on somewhere between $250,000 and $300,000, you're going to pay taxes on about half that much. We have one more director level, and that's presidential director. Presidential director is 25,000 people. Dwayne, that's a bunch of people. I mean, it's a lot. In our previous company, 6 people attained this. And those 6 people were all paid. Same monthly bonus, $12,000. But but they earned $1 million bonus. And we have $1 million bonus in Surge 365. And here's how it works. You hit now all these levels you got to hit one month, you got to maintain it the next month, and then it kicks in the month following. When you do that with 25,000 people on that, after you got your pre-qual month, your qual month, and then your qualification month, and then you've got the following month, with your residual on 11th, it's going to be $500,000. 1 year later, the other $500,000 will be paid. And I'll tell you why we do that. We paid out 6 of these bonuses in our history. Not as Surge, but in our history of in travel. 4 of the 6 people got in trouble with taxes. The reason we pay the $500,000 is because you may or may not put back for taxes, but if you don't, the following year when that $500,000 comes in, we know that you're going to have it to pay the taxes on the first $500,000. And that's what we do. Folks, I believe this. Is this a compensation plan that's been tested? It's been proven. Just so you know, it's our platform. This isn't somebody else running it. It's not some other IT department. It's not outsourced somewhere. The other thing I want you to know, and this has nothing to do with compensation, but I think it has a whole lot to do with the timing. See, most people are looking for the next startup, if you will, that makes it. The problem is so many don't make it. There's so many things that can happen in startups, things that aren't even your fault. Processors, programmers. There are just so many things that you have no control over that can come out and just completely wipe out momentum and sometimes even wipe out companies. But if you could find a company that had history, that was proven, that had been around, a company that had proven leadership, and that company had basically kind of said, we're going to take the next generation in travel. And now you got kind of the best of both worlds. You got a really a new company with a history. Folks, our home office staff, average being with Dad and I for 11 years. Now, the only reason I'm not saying Chris, because Chris was not a partner in our former company. He is in Search. He's a founder. But our home office has been with us. Our chief financial officer, our operations officer, the people, folks, 11 years. We've been tested, and I believe we've passed the test. So when you can combine that kind of a history with basically a brand new company looking for a new group to come in and do something spectacular that I believe will set Surge in the momentum that can lead us, listen to me, will lead us to having hundreds of thousands of active people. Dwayne, I believe you and your team are perfectly positioned to take advantage of what's here. And Dwayne, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Thank you, Scott, and again, thank you for taking your time out of the holiday. I'm going to edit this out and create this a nice piece to get to. We got a lot of players and other companies that are looking, and first thing they want to know is to show me the comp. Let me see the comp. Nobody really, we all can do a product. Everybody wants to know the comp plan. So I'm going to edit this out and really and get it out and get it out to the folks and stay with our leaders. We're very excited. I think that we can definitely make an example. We'll come out the gate strong. But those first 30 days, we got some things, nice schedule events laid out. I'm not sure if you saw. I sent you an email, you and Chris.
Yes.
I'd love to have you guys at the. We're going to do a midway launch in New Jersey, and then we're going to do a conclusion in Las Vegas.
And I think, Dwayne, that I'm going to be able to make Jersey and Chris is going to be able to make Bay. I think that it's working out where one of us will be able to make it because he's going to be on a cruise, I think, when you have your Jersey event.
Right.
And I believe that's the weekend I leave for Costa Rica for a training with some of our leaders down there. Okay. I still won't be able to make it. But that's what I'm looking at. But I know that for sure one of us will be at each of those events. Absolutely.
Excellent. So and if you could just tell, I know we got the convention coming up in next month, but what is Chris is talking about some other events corporate has coming up?
Well, the biggest thing is naturally our convention coming up in August. I believe it's the 11th and 12th. It's the second weekend in August in San Diego.
Right.
And then there are some things that will definitely be rolled out at convention that not even our directors know at this time.
Gotcha.
That will kind of lead us. But I do believe right now we're finalizing the details on the contest. Okay. That you guys will be perfectly positioned to be able to win. That we're finalizing the details on that. So as soon as we have that where we're announcing it, then definitely, and Dwayne, I know that while you are not a director in title, that Chris and I know that you are already taking the reins and running like you are a director. So we're treating you as a director. So as soon as the information is known to our directors, it's definitely going to be known to you.
Excellent.
Okay? And yet the last thing I'd like to say is about the presentation we just did. If there are questions, if there's something that maybe was a little unclear or something that could have been done with maybe another slide was needed, anything that you need, Dwayne, anything you and your team look at and say, hey, this would really be helpful if this was done better. Now, for sure, after the 60 days, we'll go back and we'll put in the $20 override at Team Builder, the $20 at Regional Builder. We'll show those, okay? Right. But if there's anything in the meantime that's needed, just absolutely coordinate through Dwayne. Dwayne, you let me know what it is. We'll re-record this, and if you see that you got questions that keep coming to you, this doesn't have to be a one and done. As you see that this needs to be a living document or a living presentation that helps to answer those questions. Because the last thing I want the leaders on this call doing is spending your time explaining the comp plan.
Right, exactly.
That's not something you need to be doing. So just let if this is good and it works and it's worked in the past with everybody I've done it with, but if there's anything that's needed, you just let me know and we'll modify it.
Excellent. I got one of my guys, the top guy's name is Marvin Sykes. Marvin, I just unmuted you. He has a question.
All right. You hear me, Dwayne?
Yes, sir.
I want to know what type of rules or regulations your company has as far as marketing online.
I think the only thing, just if you just kind of run it by us, here's what I can tell you, Marvin. We want to do everything. Okay, let me think how's it best to say this. Okay. Our job is to provide a product, a platform, and a compensation plan to allow builders to build, not to tell builders how to build. So if you have experience with online, some stuff that you want to do, all I'd ask you to do is just let us kind of take a look at it, make sure that we don't see anything, because a lot of times with seasoned people, if there's something that's not in compliance, it's not because you were trying to do anything, it's just you didn't know. So just run that stuff by us. Kind of funnel through to Wayne, get it to us. We'll get it turned around real quick, but we want you to tell as many people as you possibly can in whatever form and manner it is that you tell them.
All right. So as far as doing a PowerPoint presentation off the PowerPoint, that needs to be approved if it's your PowerPoint?
Our PowerPoint doesn't need to be approved. If there are some things that you would look at and say that you need to do something different, anything that we have that's company produced, you can tell the world. That's
okay. That's
already
all I need.
Yeah. Anything you've got that you want to do a little bit different or something you want to kind of personalize or modify a little bit, we'll work with you to do that as well.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You bet.
We had another question from a gentleman, my man Vince. He's at a barbecue, but he texted me in. How fast does Surge pay on travel vortex and travel agent bookings? That's coming from some of his reps.
Okay. It's the first pay cycle following the time that there's two things that have to happen. The travel has to be taken and we have to receive the money. Sometimes the money is sent before the travel is taken. So the two pieces we don't have control of. Some companies pay us prior to the travel, and then once the travel's taken, it's the next week. Okay. As far as travel agent. Other companies don't pay until the travel has been taken. And in those cases, it can sometimes take as much as 6 weeks for us to be paid. So once the travel's taken, because most companies only pay us on a monthly basis. Okay. So it's just, as soon as those two things have happened, the following pay cycle. The Vortex commissions are paid monthly. The travel agent commissions are paid weekly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Does that answer the question?
Yes, that does.
Okay.
Yes. Anybody else before we dismantle the call? Anybody else?
Yeah, Dwayne, can you hear me?
Yeah, Halim.
Yeah. I got a question dealing with if you have a package, right? Like I was telling you about the Hodge package,
Yes.
where you have a lot of people that want to take a trip, and there's already a package. Can we duplicate that package or do something similar to that package?
Almost always. I mean, it would have to be the only reason that we wouldn't be able to through PTN is if it was a proprietary. It would almost have to be a proprietary destination where they didn't allow others to sell into it. Okay, but as long as that destination was something that travel agents are able to sell into, we would be able to do it. I can't think of a situation that we've not been able to put a package together that was similar, very similar to something else that's out there in the marketplace.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Sean, James, Marvin?
I'm good, Dwayne. I got it.
Excellent. All right.
Hey, Dwayne,
Yes, sir.
as far as travel packages go, we can just call PTN and let them book it if we're not going to be the individual do it, like someone else will take it over for us and we'll still make the commission on it.
Correct. What that is they do so if you refer a group or a package, or let's say it wasn't even a group, it was just a complex travel that you didn't want to handle.
Right.
You can refer it to PTN, and then whatever commissions you would have, or let's say that the commissions would have been $1,000 had you done all the work.
Right.
They split that commission with you. So you pick up 500, but you don't do the work, which is ideal for a network marketer. I mean, I don't want to become a travel agent. I run into people all the time who want travel and think I know what I'm doing.
Right.
I would always, for me, that's how I would always do it.
Right.
Now, Dwayne.
Yep.
Dwayne, I have one more question. Piggybacking off the question he just asked. Now, is that per individual that's going with the group?
Yes. In other words, let's say there was a destination wedding, or there was a group of 25. That if you want them to do all of the work on the group, then whatever the commissions would have been had you done all the work, it would be half that commission to you and half to them because they did all the work.
Now, let me ask you one more question. Now, what if this was an event that you're going to do yearly, say every year? I mean, would they keep that package in mind and just whatever the difference in the price is, you can deal with that?
I think on that, here's what I would do. That's where I would have a conversation with Jessica, because what I don't want to do is really, there might be some things that she does. I know that she told me about somebody that had done because their office is in Fresno, and this person had put up a billboard and says it's the first annual Hispanic cruise. So their target was Hispanic people in Fresno who had never been on a cruise. And now that cruise is up to like 500 cabins a year. So I'm sure that if you had something that was kind of like that, it was kind of an annual type of a thing. Maybe I don't know how they would do that on a yearly basis, but that's one I think you'd want to talk to Jessica personally about.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Hey, Dwayne, I did have a question.
Yes, sir.
On the team builder sheet and then the chart that you gave us. Now, I didn't quite understand that on the numbers 1, 2, 3. Now the first, second, and third one. Do we still put in the people that we're going to that are 3 and 3? We still list them as our 1, 2, and 3, or do we start with the 4, 5, and 6?
Start with your 4, 5, and 6. And what I've done on that, Sean, is I have actually, Dwayne, I hadn't even sent this over to you. I worked on it last night. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be sending over to you. What I did is I just took 100, 200 as the top person. And so what I did is I just said, look, because that was kind of limited. So I'm going to send that one to you, Dwayne. So 100 would be the first person that you sponsored after your first 3.
Got it.
200 would be the second one, because it was like then under each of them was like almost, I think it was like 98 spots that you could actually fill in.
Right.
So I'll send that over to you because I think that's a little clearer than what I had originally sent you.
Okay, perfect. Because
Okay.
I'll put it all together now to get prepared for the facts tomorrow. And we so the other question is, now the spots, we want to hold some spots for like 2 or 3 people.
Sure.
So I'm clear on this. We're still building under their 1, 2, 3. We're just holding that key spot right above that. Is that correct?
Yeah, just let us, anytime you got something like that, just designate, in that spot, because really you're not really putting the names on the chart. The chart is just so you're looking at it and being able to organize it in your mind. What we're really going to go by is the list, okay, that is corresponding to where that person is. So if you've got somebody or you've got a place that you got like a placeholder, if you will, or you want to just in that put a placeholder, just give us a name, team 1 or whatever you wanted to call that, just so that we know we don't want to put somebody in there. We will eventually put someone there, okay,
Right.
but we just don't want to. We don't want to fill that in.
All right. Now,
And here's what we're going to do. If we have questions, the good thing about this is we're all going to be looking at the same thing. This is why I created the sheets, because if we're all looking at the same information, then I think our confusion factor is going to be decreased exponentially because we're looking at it. The other thing I'd ask you to do is to correspond the number on the application that you're sending. So like if number 7 was Scott Tomer, then make sure that you put the number 7 on the application at the top, maybe top right-hand corner, top left-hand corner, just somewhere, so that I've got the name, the phone number, but I've also got that kind of location thing.
Perfect.
But Dwayne, I think when I send this other one over to you, it's gonna clear that up a little bit because it's not all on one sheet.
That's perfect. Which also just there's one more question to that. Suppose I put I just use a company. I start building it out as a company, and it's working. And then down the road, this individual decides, okay, now everything's cleared out. Like in the case of he's out disabled now. He's gonna be probably disabled for 6 months, and this team that's coming over, I'm building under this leg. So I might just put a business in there, build it, and then when he comes, just swap business and swap the name out.
Yeah, I think all we need in that is we just need a business transfer that just shows that the business has been sold, bequeathed, transferred, whatever,
Got it.
and who the new owner of the business is.
Okay, and they pick up right from that point.
Sure, absolutely.
Perfect. Okay, good. Anybody else? Well, Scott, thank you again on this holiday. We appreciate you taking your time. Make sure that I'll look for your email. We've been laying it all out. But you're right. I was having a problem where, because I'm at the 3, and there was no place to put it, so I was a little baffled how I was going to get through that.
Right. So that's what we're getting. And then and here's the thing, I think with the chart that I'm going to send over now, if there's another leg or there's somebody else you got to put in there, just make a note. As long as as long as we're all looking at the same thing, if you need to draw in another circle or put somebody's name or whatever you got to do, then make sure that we're looking at the same thing. Okay. So in that one, I would want you to send in the chart along with the list so that when we're looking at it, now we can make sure that we're understanding what was meant. Here's what I want you to know. And if something happens and we got a mistake, we can correct it. It's not like it's fatal. I mean, it's we'll just correct it.
I know what my question was. I got that. Now, here's the other thing. Can we put on the list? Now, as of tomorrow, these individuals that we got the money for, they're going to go live and have their own application. So are they still going to be doing paper apps, or are they going to be enrolling through their portal, through their system?
Well, here's the thing. As soon as when you've got your leaders positioned, okay, you can do it either way. You can say to leaders, okay, now you got your site, go ahead and let's get your first 3 in, get your fast start team done, and then you just start building and have them logging into your back office. The only thing you want to make sure that you do is you just want to make sure that you get the positioning done so that the right people are the first 3, and then the correct people are numbers 4 and on.
Right.
Okay.
I think we got that at the onset, so we should be okay there.
Yeah. So as long as you got that done, we don't want to just, because you don't want to stop people, because if you do a paper app, It's got to wait until we put them in before their site goes up. If they go directly to the site and sign up, they're instantly in business.
Right. So that was my point. Can we place is there a report is there a report, something like what you just sent us, that when we look at our back office, we can see where these people are falling?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, Dwayne, I know that I sent you the demo back office.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go ahead and send this to this leadership group, just so they can, if you want to play with it a little bit, you can kind of look at some of the reports and some of the things that are back there and just get kind of familiar with it. Feel free to share that with your team.
Okay. So guys, I'm going to send you guys the playback in this demo report. He's talking about the demo account so you guys can play before you go live tomorrow. And the last thing, Scott, is this. We have a lot of people that we send the applications to. And I'm now speaking for me. I got another 65 people that I sent the apps to. Some of them sent them back already, some didn't. Now, I know they're going to be coming during the course of the week. What I want to do, I'm going to fill those names in with those numbers and then just have a place where it says not collected yet or something. First of all, can I do that? Because I know where I want to put them, and I don't want to have to waste my time while I'm running. Once tomorrow comes, I'm running. And I don't want to have to stop and try to figure out where's that person going again.
Here's what I think the best thing to do there is, instead of making a placeholder, just go ahead and put the name in there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'll put the name, everything in, and just put.
Yes.
So when they pay online, well, how would they know? Would your people know if they paid online?
The best way to do that would be with a paper app, but if they do it online, we just need to get a heads up. Hey, this is the person that just signed up, and this is where they should be.
Okay. All right.
You see what I'm saying? Just, again, we can move people. We just got to know, because we won't know that the person that you put as number 13 just signed up online. We won't know that.
That's correct.
But if you tell us, then we can make sure if they're not in that position, we can move them to that position because we will have saved that spot.
That's perfect. And do we have someone at corporate a liaison, somebody we can opposed to just grabbing anybody, someone we can ask for?
Yeah, I'm gonna verify this tomorrow with Dwayne, but I think who you're going to be working with is Kelly.
Okay.
But you will have a designated person that you'll work everything through. So the ideal way for the beginning, Dwayne, everybody work through you, and then you work with Kelly.
Okay.
And what we'll do is, as our people, because once leaders have been identified, I mean, because you're going to have some people that are going to be regional builders like this week.
Right.
Okay. When that has happened, then we're gonna pick up and say, okay, these people need to have the ability to maybe do some direct communication as well.
Right.
So when that comes up, you'll have somebody specifically. Typically, there'll be somebody specifically that you work with, just because that way you get a relationship.
Right.
And then if we've worked through a situation, if you and Kelly work through a situation, then you can just come back and say, hey, this is just like that situation we had with Bob.
Right.
Or with Betty. Okay. And that's what we found works well.
Okay. So I'll look for your new sheet. And that probably will answer my question. And for you guys, I know you guys just shoot your sheets up to me. I'll fax it all in one shot so they have everything, and they'll start inputting. And I guess that's when the SBA numbers is all applied once that goes through. Correct? Scott?
What's that now?
They'll get their SBA number at that time when it goes through.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And as long as we got the right email, you'll have the email notification instantly that says, hey, this is, this welcome. It'll welcome you to as an SBA. It'll welcome you as a member. It'll give you, here's all the login information. So everyone gets that email. So you'll get that when we put it in. The email will still go out because we're going to be putting in your emails into this system.
Got it. And then what was the last piece? I went blank now. One last piece of that. That'll come back to me. Okay. So I think we're in good shape.
Well, here's what I know. Of all the fireworks I've seen this weekend, I believe the most fireworks are going to come from what we just did on what are we on? Zoom?
Yeah, yes.
All right. I'm going to get it right, but I believe the fireworks just started. So
yeah, I'm with you on that one. I concur.
Well, thanks everybody for taking the time to be on Zoom today, and I'm really looking forward to getting to know you better. And I promise you, I already got some checks ready for you. All right.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you. We'll talk to you soon. I'm sending stuff out to you guys now.
All right. Bye now.
Everybody have a good night.